I am Precious Mzea Sakaleji. Good afternoon and welcome to Camnet TV Midday News. The headlines. Debt swap likely to collapse Zambia's economy, EFF. PF challenges Zambians to point at its failure during a virtual rally. Join me with the Midday News in detail after this commercial.
May I please have one beer and 2 glasses?
Do you have champagne? Yes.
Hold that thought. No champagne, just for the month.
Oh,
you know
God.
we gotta keep on texting R to 9595.
I'm sick and tired of this R9595.
You stand a chance of your lifetime to win a brand new 2020 Range Rover Evoque when you text R to 9595. From as little as 5 kwacha, you get 1 entry. 10 kwacha for 3 entries, and 20 kwacha will give you a whopping 7 entries. There will also be daily and weekly consolation prizes up for grabs. That's great news, right? Competition runs from 12th of May to 31st of August 2021 and is only open to Zamtel subscribers. Terms and conditions apply.
Zamtel, your digital lifestyle partner.
Giving birth to my firstborn son was a challenge, not because of maternal complications, but because the health center was so far away. Today, the newly built health center is only meters away. So with my second-born, it was so much easier. As a mother, access to antenatal and postnatal healthcare is a priority. That is why I commend the PF government for bringing quality healthcare near our homes.
And now the Midday News in detail. The Economic Freedom Fighters Party has charged that the debt swap initiative by the government for civil servants will shrink financial institutions in Zambia. Party running Met Siame Changala says it is unfortunate that the Zambian government has decided to shift the debt burden on financial institutions which it has not been remitting despite deducting from the civil servants in the last 7 years. Mr. Changala says if financial institutions shrink due to the decision taken by the government, the Zambian economy will completely collapse. Meanwhile, a social scientist, Innocent Kolala, has praised government for actualizing the debt swap initiative, which he says will increase the earning of civil servants.
According to information obtained from the National Action for Quality Education in Zambia NACASE, over 80% of teachers in the country are indebted due to overborrowing from financial lending institutions, a situation that has been affecting the performance of most teachers whose payslips have been choked by the huge sums of money that the government has been deducting from their salaries to settle their debt. The decision by the government to, however, ease the burden of the civil servants by proposing a debt swap to give teachers a breathing space has been supported by some stakeholders, while others have criticized the decision. Economic Freedom Fighter Party running mate Siame Changala says the issue of the debt swap will shrink financial institutions in the country, which will in turn collapse the Zambian economy.
They're shifting the burden, the debt burden, from themselves to financial institutions. And once you kill the financial institutions in the country, know that your economy is not going to go anywhere. And we are not doing anything. For over 7 months, the government has not been remitting funds, and you find that it's the financial institutions that create money by lending out to businesses. And if you are killing the financial institutions in the country, don't expect the economy to grow.
Mr. Changala has since urged civil servants in the country not to buy into the idea of a debt swap as it does not provide any long-term solutions to their problems.
It's a gimmick, and we are urging all the civil servants not to use this as a basis to vote PF into power. But they should be careful because they can be lured into things that are not true. We know they have made promises that they have not fulfilled. For example, they have failed to pay interest rates on Eurobonds, something that is critical. So we don't trust this government, and we don't believe that they are going to deliver on this, and they are not going to deliver because they don't have the finances to run the program they want to start.
And the social scientist Innocent Kolala has praised government for actualizing the debt swap initiative, which he says will give breathing space to indebted civil servants.
You can get a 5,000 kwacha loan, but by the time this person is going to pay back this 5,000, you will pay something like 15 or 20,000 kwacha. But now with this arrangement, you will discover that if the principal which this person was remaining with. It could be maybe 2,000 kwacha. It will mean now the government, this person will come and pay at an opportune time to the government in a manner which is reasonable, which is going to give a breathing space to a Zambian people.
The idea of the debt swap raises a question: what then do financial institutions, who are the lenders in this case, feel about the decision? Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Patriotic Front Secretary General Davis Mwila has called on Zambians to give the PF government resounding victory come the August 12, 2021 general elections because it has delivered on campaign promises of leaving no one behind. Speaking during the launch of the party's virtual rally on Sunday, Mr. Mwila has cited the recent debt swap for civil servants, which he says has brought back dignity and morale to the civil service. The Patriotic Front Secretary General also says civil servants today have improved salaries and conditions of service. The party chief has since challenged Zambians to point out the failure of the Patriotic Front, if any, expressing confidence of fully delivering according to people's expectations.
12th August 2021, on which Zambia is to hold its general elections, is quickly approaching, and various political parties have seriously embarked on selling their campaign messages to the Zambian people. The ruling Patriotic Front PF Sunday officially launched its virtual rally ahead of the August pause. Party Secretary General Mr. Davis Mwila, speaking during the event, says the Patriotic Front has delivered on various promises as it has built infrastructure such as hospitals and universities, and also recruited education and healthy personnel. Mr. Mwila also says that the recent debt swap by government is an indicator that the PF government is inclusive and is determined to leave no one behind.
We are here to request the Zambian people to give President Edgar Chagwa Lungu and the Patriotic Front a resounding victory come 12 August 2021. The Patriotic Front has delivered on its campaign promises of making every Zambian count by leaving no one behind in the development process. Civil servants, we have brought back the dignity and morale in the civil service. Today, our civil servants are able to buy land, build houses, and buy cars.
Meanwhile, Patriotic Front member Chimba Kambwili has charged that Zambia's environment was not conducive for development when the PF government assumed office in 2011. He, however, says the ruling party has now made the environment conducive in the last 10 years, and that is why they deserve another 5 years to finish their development project. Mr. Kambwili says Zambia is doing better economically than other countries within the region.
I want to give you a comparison of prices in the region, so that you know that HH and these people are lying to you, that the problem of high prices of commodities is only in Zambia. Let me pick meal, which is dear to our hearts because that's our staple food. Let me pick meal prices. As at today, I check the internet every day, Mr. HH. If you don't check the internet, I challenge you to go and check the internet. As at today, the price of meal in the region is as follows. In Zambian kwacha, if we use today's exchange rate, then these are the prices. Zambia is between 140 to 150. Malawi is 450 kwacha, 25 kg bag. Zimbabwe is 620 kwacha, 25 kg. Congo is 750 kwacha.
Only 24 days remain before Zambia goes to the polls for general elections. Alex Shimba, Camnet News, Lusaka.
In other news, A political scientist has called for the constitutionalization of presidential debates after the 2021 general elections, which will make it mandatory for all candidates aspiring for the country's presidency to debate development policies. Speaking to Camnet TV, University of Zambia lecturer of political science, Dr. Alex Ngoma, in a phone interview, states that this will allow candidates aspiring for presidency to be thoroughly scrutinized on their development plans. Dr. Ngoma says there is need for Zambia to emulate countries with strong democratic systems like the United States of America, which have applied such tactics.
I think that a presidential debate would allow the nation to really hear those that are offering themselves as candidates, to hear the way they are looking at various issues, how they intend to lead the country going forward and things like that. But it is important for Zambia to understand that in Zambia, it is not a constitutional requirement that there must be a presidential debate. And therefore, you cannot force the presidential debates, the presidential candidates to hold a presidential debate. What the people of Zambia should do instead going forward is to call for a constitutional change so that that requirement is enshrined in the constitution.
The Continental Leadership Research Institute, CLRI, has described the move by government to do a debt swap for civil servants as an unsustainable move meant for political expedience. In a statement issued to the media, CLRI Executive Director Paul Mundia Hakula says his organization believes that the move by government is a political move at a time when the country is going to the elections. He has wondered why this policy has not come in the entire time that the Patriotic Front has been in government. Mr. Hahula says Zambia is already spending 90% of what it raises on the internal budget on servicing debt and emoluments, leaving the country at just 10% of discretionary spending. Bringing another debt service does not make sense. Mr. Hahula called for policy consistency and coherence as opposed to political moves which only stresses the country's economy further.
The Continental Leadership Research Institute has noted the move by government to do a debt swap for civil servants. To us as an institute, we believe that this move is a move of political expediency at a time when we are going to have elections. Why is it that this policy has not come in the entire time that the PF has been in government? For us as an institute, we are of the strong view that it is very much important that we have policy consistency in the way we are going to run the affairs of the state. And it is very much important that the resources of the land of Zambia are used not for political expediency activities, but they are used, actually channeled to the right things. Why we say this is that, first and foremost, the issue of debt swap and the issue of taking care of the loans is not a sustainable move. Currently, from the internal revenue that we raise on the budget, 90% of the expenditure is used for debt servicing and for emoluments, and we only have 10% for discretionary spending.
Well, that news item brings us to the end of Camnet TV Midday News, but before we go, here are the headlines once again. Debt swap likely to collapse Zambia's economy, EFF. PF challenges Zambians to point at its failure during a virtual rally. Thank you for joining me. I am Precious Mzeya Sakaleji. Remember to always mask up, avoid crowded places, wash your hands for at least 20 seconds, or use alcohol-based hand sanitizer. COVID is real. Stay safe. Good afternoon.